Hey guys, how's it going? Good morning. Let me pull up everything real quick and then we can get started. Let's get this posted up and then post it to our social media. And then we can kick off this session, guys. So what's going on here? Yeah, looks like our EJ is still active. Our US 30 hit full TP last night. It was perfectly on spot. Hit our TP, then it dropped. Let me post this link real quick, guys, and then we can kick off this session. Over to our groups real quick. Get on our Facebook real quick, guys, and then we can get started. Hey, morning, Alkin. Morning, Braden. Morning, everybody. So let me get this started real quick. Yeah, I wasn't planning on getting online today, guys, but I figured I might as well hang out with you guys for a bit. Before I finish up all of the back office stuff for K2, we have I have to put all the results together. We had a pretty profitable week overall, guys. We only had one stop loss hit. So everyone should be pretty nice in profit, guys. Even we had all US 30 wins this week. So even if you took UK 100 trades, if you took US 30 trades, you guys should have been perfectly fine. But yeah, we'll go ahead and take a look at that stuff shortly. Let me just go ahead and send these links out. I think we have one more place to send this to, and then we should be good to go. Let's get this on here. Copy this one. All right, so let me get this over here real quick. And I think I have one other place. I got to put it on the Instagram as well. And then we can get started, guys. Send that out. All right, last place is going to be the Instagram. So let me just screenshot this. And then we should be good. Hopefully you guys locked in some nice profits this week, guys, because I sure did. I'm pretty sure a lot of other people did as well. It's been a great week. It's been a great year so far. We just started and we're pretty deep in profit. But yeah, let me go ahead and post this up real quick. I wish there was a way to automate all this stuff so I don't have to do it every morning. All right. Those link on there. Get the swipe up button. All right, I think we're good. Check this. All right, cool. Looks like we're good, guys. So let me go ahead and take a look at the chat real quick, see what's going on here. All right, cool. Looks like people are making their way in. Morning, Greg. Morning, Nicole. Morning, Lisa. Morning, Kendra. Morning, Indra. Morning, Kasim. Morning, David. Morning, John. Morning, Black to Jerry. We might be. I don't know yet. I'm going to take a look at it, Jerry, and then we'll see what's going on from there. Morning, Wayne. Morning, Wave Bum. Morning, Peter. Morning, Sanjeev. Morning, Merciba. Morning, Alan. Morning, everybody. Happy Friday, everybody. We made it through this great trading week. I'll have the results ready later today. But yeah, just looking at everything here, we might be trading US 30. Let me check real quick. see what's going on. NFP, you know, just passed not too long ago, about an hour ago. So we might be taking US 30 because there wasn't really too much of a crazy movement there. I see a lot of people that were worried about EJ. Guys, EJ is back. It's going back to entry. You know, you guys get too worried about these trades. If you go look at the correlating pairs, look at AJ, it's bullish. Look at K² Jpy, it's bullish. Look at GJ, it's bullish. Look at NZD Jpy, it's bullish. So what do you think is going to happen with EJ over here? It's going to be bullish. So I don't know why people were like so worried about EJ wanting to get out of the trade. You guys just have to be patient, guys. If you're worried about this, you have to work on your trade psychology, guys, because that's how they kick people out of these trades. And this is how people lose trades, because you guys don't have the trade psychology to hang on to a trade long enough for it to hit TP, right? A lot of people get worried. They see this little pullback right here and they're like, oh, it's the same thing that happened yesterday with EU. I mean, not really. Look at EU over here. It's also swinging back bullish. So like, this was like a manipulated move yesterday, guys, because there was a lot of stuff going on. Like I mentioned, it was going to come down and I said it was going to reject off here, right? It did exactly what I said. Rejected off here. Now it's correcting back upward. So, I mean, if you guys want to get out of EJ, you guys are more than welcome to exit it, but I'm going to hold on to it. You can see I'm like slightly in some drawdown, but it's swinging back into profit right here. If it closes above the structure, it's probably going to have that momentum to push up to our TPs. So, you know, just keep that in mind, guys. You know, I've been trading for a long time, so I've seen this time and time again. It's the same thing that happens like almost all the time. It's people get faked out and they want to exit the trade, but you know, I'm hanging on. That's why I don't even bother looking at the trade, guys. Once I take the trade, I have my alert set here at TP1, TP2, TP3, and I just let it run. I don't watch it at all. I just wait and I see what happens. If I get an alert as I hit TP, all right, cool. I'll give you the update. If it hits stop loss, that's cool too. But I don't watch the trade, because if you keep watching the trade, that's where it messes with your trade psychology, because you're not mentally there if you see like a drop like this happen. So, you know, just keep that in mind, guys, for future reference. And if I'm calling a trade, I'm not calling a trade just because. I'm calling a trade because I think it's actually going to hit. So keep that in mind, guys. Let me go ahead and take a look at the chat again real quick and then see if there's anything else that we need to cover before we get started. So if you guys have any questions, just put them in the chat and then I can analyze anything you guys want. Or if you guys want me to cover anything, you know, I can do that as well. So let me go ahead and take a look at the chat real quick, see if anyone has made it back in. Morning City, morning Josh, morning Erica, morning John, morning Forex Trader, morning Billy, morning Lisa, morning Uzman, morning Elizabeth, morning everybody. So let me go ahead and take a look over here. So yeah, if you guys haven't already, thanks for reminding me, guys. If you guys haven't already, if you guys can like the stream, that'll definitely help. That way I can continue to come on here and give you guys free advice every morning and just trade live with you guys, because obviously this does take a lot of time out of my day. I wasn't even going to come on today, but you know, I want to hang out with you guys right before we close the week out. Maybe take another US 30 trade. So I'm going to go set my alerts right here, and then we can get started, guys. All right, we're good. We got the alert set up. You know, like I mentioned here, we'll be looking for a buy because the previous signal was a sell. The opening candle was right here. And then we should be good. So what I'm going to do today also, guys, is we have a lot of new people here. I'm going to show you guys how the US 30 strategy works for the new people who are just joining K2. And it's very, very simple. So you can see right here, this is the trade we took yesterday, hit full TP, and happy with that. So let's go ahead and take a look at everything over here real quick and see what else is going on. Let me just see everything on the other side of the questions. Sanjeev said, I'm heavy short on GJ and GU, need to recover somehow. Let's see, yeah, so everyone wants me to take a look at GJ. So let me put GJ on the list real quick. So let's see. Okay, so for Sanjeev, I'll take a look at GJ, Gbp Jpy, and Gbp USD. Let's see if there's anything else here. All right, Kendra wants me to take a look at GJ too, so I'll take a look at that as well. Nice. So Forex Traders is killing EJ and AJ, so maybe I'll take a look at those two just because AJ and EJ. And Cameron said, wow, can't believe you're giving this much free value. Love it, man. Thanks, Cameron. Appreciate it, bro. Yeah, I'm here to help you guys. I'm not really here to do anything else. I'm really here literally just to answer your guys' questions. So if you guys have any questions, I'm here to help you guys out. So if you guys want me to look at any pair that you guys want me, that you like maybe have open, like maybe you're confused with the trade, you're not sure if it's going your direction, just put the pair down in the chat and I can take a look at it to analyze, whether it lines up with my analysis. So we'll do that. So I have 4 pairs here to look at right now. Other than that, I will continue with these questions. Morning, Victor. How's it going? So for Sanjeev, I'm going to take a look at AUD JPY, GBP USD. For Forex Trader, I'm going to take a look at AUD JPY and Euro JPY. Let's go ahead and take a look. Hey, David, how's it going, bro? Let me see everything that's going on here. So let's start off with, did I pull up on the list? Start off with GBP Jpy. So GBP Jpy, looks like Sanjeev has a short. Not sure why you took the short, Sanjeev, for GJ. It's been bullish since, it's literally been bullish since all December. It's the bullish move started right here on October 29, and it's been establishing higher highs since then. So I'm not exactly sure why you took a short on that. Your analysis could have been fine. I'm just trying to see, and I'm curious why you took that short. I'm just gonna go ahead and analyze this from scratch so you can see, how I determine this as a bullish move. Just from clear view right here, it's obviously an uptrend. All the way from down here, it's been trending up since late October. But we'll keep it simple, and I'm gonna show you what I do first. So basically, I zoom out from this point. I turn on the K2SRs. I draw my zones right here. And then after I draw my zones, I'm going to determine where momentum is. So draw these zones up right here. Draw these zones right here. And then you can see that, basically anytime price swings around, a lot of people can just buy these dips as it moves. So let me see this right here. And GJ and just the JPY pairs in general have been pretty bullish so far. So there goes my zones. If I zoom out from here, you guys can see, let me take this off. You guys can see how well the price respects these zones, right? And I drew these zones within a few seconds. I can go ahead and take this off the chart right here. And then just looking over here, you guys can see that, price generally respects these zones pretty nicely. You can see it did the same pattern right here, this bullish pattern from October until today. It had the same pattern from July up until September, and it pretty much just repeats itself over and over again. So just looking at price right here, price is currently trying to break the structure. I'm going to turn on the momentum indicator right here. And then you can see here, obviously, the bullish momentum has started from way down here. So let me just, I already marked this up for you guys earlier this week. So if you guys want to see my earlier analysis on this, it's pretty simple. I'm doing the same thing, but in reality, it just played out exactly how I thought. So right here, we had the rejection off this structure. Let me make this a little smaller. So we had a rejection off the structure right here. Following this rejection, we had a buy signal indicating a momentum swing upwards, and then price broke structure like I mentioned up here. And after it breaks structure like that, it goes and tests the next structure above here, right? So test the structure right here. If it breaks this structure again, as it's been moving, so price comes up and then breaks the structure again right here, just like it did right here, what's probably going to happen is it's probably going to have another bullish move and it's going to continue shooting up further. So if you're in a short position, Sanjeev, I don't know if I would hang on to that. You can probably hang on to it shortly, but if it breaks the structure like it did right here, then I would get out. However, it can easily swing back from this point too. I'm not sure where your entry was, but it can also swing back from here. This is another scenario. It swings back like it did right here. And then you can see from this example over here, when it swung back, followed with a sell signal, and then it broke structure down here in the opposite direction, it could still end up coming down, right? So I wouldn't hop out right now if you are still in that sell, because there's two scenarios it can play out. It can either break structure right here, close like it did down here, and then continue up further, or it can reject off this point, provide a sell signal like it did previously right here, and then come all the way back down. So if that happens, you can probably have a ride back down for about 200 pips, 190 pips, right? So if you're still in that sell, maybe you can hold tight, but overall, I think it's going to be bullish, similar like with how I explained for everything else over here. You know, GJ bullish, EJ bullish, CJ bullish, AJ bullish. So, I mean, it has a bullish bias. You know, the correlation is bullish for pretty much all of the other pairs, the JPY pairs. So I'm not exactly sure if it's going to come back down, but I mean, if you want to take a chance with it, and if you're already in some heavy drawdown, maybe you can just hang on to it. Otherwise, I think it's going to be bullish because on top of the JPY being weak, if you look at the other AUD pairs, I mean GBP pairs, this is bearish because the AUD is strong. So you can see how strong the GBP is across the board right here as well. This is bearish, but it's retracing a bit. Gbp CHF is actually bullish. GN is bearish, similar to GA. And GU right here is bullish as well. So the GBP pairs aren't really correlating. The real currency in power is the JPY. I mean, the currency that's weak is the JPY because all of the JPY pairs are bullish. So basically, if all the JPY pairs are going upwards, like it is right here for GJ, EJ, CJ, and AJ, this indicates that the second currency, which is the JPY, is weak right now. So pretty much it's just weak across the board. And that's why all these other currencies are pushing up. So just keep that in mind for GJ right here. Let me see if there's anything else that you asked as well. So Sanji is asking also, please advice as few broker is having US 30 and few DJI. Same for FTS 100. Few for UK 100. Also should be. It depends on your broker, Sanji, because some of them have cash next to it and some of them don't. It just really depends on your broker, which one it carries. So I've never seen cash. None of the brokers I've ever used before have cash next to it. So I can't really answer that question, which one is better or which one's not. But I personally think it's, I mean, the one without cash is probably the normal one. And the one with cash is probably, it might be like a smaller lot size for it, or it might be measured smaller. So I think that's pretty much it for that right there. So that's it for GJ right there. I have AJ over here next. I don't really want to remark it up because it's already marked up pretty nicely. So just looking at AJ over here, it's the same situation that I mentioned yesterday. I marked this up back, I think earlier this week when the week started, or even last week. So we had the rejection here, the bullish structure, bullish momentum right here, and then it broke structure, it went straight up, right? So same situation happened here. It did exactly what I mentioned. I said it was going to come back up, break structure right here, and then possibly continue up further. So that's probably what's going to happen here. It's just it forming a break and retest. So it broke, retesting, and then we anticipated to shoot right back up. So that's pretty much what I see happening here for JPY. It's basically the same analysis for GJ, but you know, obviously it's just AJ because they're correlating pairs. You can see that they kind of move this similar currently right now because the JPY is just weak overall. So I mean, we'll see how that plays out. Obviously, you can see here that the we're having like some retracement, but I think overall it's going to be bullish. So we'll see how this plays out, Forex trader, but I think it's going to swing back up. It might just pull back slightly, but I think overall it's going to continue up even further. Reason why I didn't call that trade was because we're in the middle of NFP. Well, I mean, NFP just passed, but it's still NFP day. So the thing with this is, you know, NFP happened about an hour ago. And just because we didn't have a reaction just yet, the reaction can come like hours later. So that's the problem, because the thing is, a lot of people didn't want to risk it during NFP, obviously, right? So people just pulled out the market, and that's why it's just going sideways. And that's why you see low volatility, because normally during NFP, you see some crazy spikes, right? You see a spike up, you see a spike down. But right now, people are just speculating. So they're not taking any trades. They're waiting for the market to actually react to NFP, because it might happen like 1 or 2 hours later. And then as soon as that happens, people are going to piggyback that ride. So just be patient with it. And I'm probably not going to call any more trades because it's already about to be the weekend. Market's going to close in about 6 hours, I believe. So I'm not going to go and risk it calling a brand new trade and then have to hold it over the weekend, right? We still have EJ over here, and obviously I'm going to hold on to EJ. But other than that, I think all of our positions have closed. So, or actually we have AU right here, which is still like slightly in profit, but I closed out. I got it at CP2 for about 40 pips in profit. And now I'm just watching it to see what happens as we move forward, because I'm not going to hold it into the weekend. But yeah, so yeah, no problem, Sanjeev. Let me see if there's any other questions here before we continue, and I'm gonna put them on the list. So let's see if there's anything here. Cameron wants me to take a look at gold, so I'll take a look at gold as well. I've looked at GJ and I've looked at AJ. So I have one more pair for Sanjeev. I'm gonna look at GU real quick. And then we got Cameron for gold. And then we got John to analyze US 30. We're going to be looking for a buy, John, for US 30 because last signal was a sell. But I'll definitely analyze that a little further from there. Hey, morning, Easy. Ikizi. Right here, everybody. Yeah, easy. Thanks for reminding me. Yeah. If anyone hasn't already, if you guys could do us like a solid and just like the stream to help us grow the channel. That way I can continue going live for you guys every morning for free. Because, you know, like I mentioned, this does take a lot of time out of my day, but I do like coming on here, just hanging out with you guys. So if you guys haven't already, if you guys can like the stream, that'll definitely help. And then I'll continue to come on and give you guys these trades for, you know, pretty much for free. Even though you're not a premium member. So just looking at this here, I'm going to go ahead and draw these structures here for US 30 real quick, just to identify, you know, where the rejection points are and what to look out for when we look for that buy entry. So we see some rejection points right here, right there. I'm probably not going to take this trade and I'm probably not going to call it, guys, but I'll give you guys an analysis for it. Because I'm not trading on NFP. I don't want to hold on to this trade into the weekend unless it looks like a really good trade. So if this trade closes above here, if we get a buy signal and it closes above here, like it just swings up, then yeah, I would take it. But if it closes down here, it's too risky for me. So I'm probably not going to take it. But, you know, just looking at US 30 right here, it's rejecting off the structure. It looks like it can push up slightly. And then if it crosses above this area up here, then we can probably take a long position. And this is still risky because it's going to go past it and create a new all-time high, right? So that's why I think it's a risky trade because the all-time high is right here at 31,126. Who knows how far I can continue to go. But yeah, let me keep going on real quick with the questions over here, and then we will continue on further. So all right, cool. So right now I have 1, 2, 3, 4 pairs to look at. I'm gonna look at GU for Sanjeev. I'm gonna look at EJ for Forex Trader. I'm gonna look at gold for Cameron, and I'm gonna look at US 30 for John. Other than that, I have my alert set up for US 30, so I'll go back to that when it's time. Otherwise, right now I'm gonna take a look at GU for Sanjeev. So we got GU right here. I'm gonna take everything off the chart so I can analyze this from scratch. You know, like I mentioned, go ahead and delete everything off here, make a chart, turn on the K2SRs, and I'm going to draw my zones. So I'm going to draw my zones first, right there. Right there. And lastly, right there. So looking at GU right here, I think Sanjeev, you said you're in for a sell, right? You know, it's the same situation that I was mentioning with GJ. I mean, it's been pretty bullish since like, I think October, right? Yeah, since September actually. So the bullish move started down here on September 22nd, and it's been pushing up ever since. And then just looking at this here, I mean, it might have established a high and started swinging down. However, I mean, this can go in a lot of ways. The reason for this is that the GBP is weak because of their lockdowns, and the USD is weak because of everything that's going on in the US as well. So that's why it's kind of consolidating right here now. The reason it was pushing up right here is because the GBP has been going into lockdown, right? Ever since they found the new COVID strain, I think in November or like early December right here, it weakened heavily and then it started pushing up super heavy, pulled back slightly, retested, and then it swung all the way back. So currently right here, I mean, it looks like it's doing the same thing. You can see this pattern right here where it comes down slightly. Same thing right here, it comes down slightly and then it shoots right back up. Comes down slightly right here and it shoots right back up. So for this right here, it's kind of difficult to see what's going on, especially with the Brexit stuff going on. But I'm going to go ahead and turn on the momentum indicator right here. You can see we have a bullish momentum, right? So for right here, we have a, I'll just show you, for example, we have a rejection, right? We have a sell signal right here, but the sell signal right here rejects off this structure. So price rejection, sell signal, test this structure, rejection off this point. And then it pretty much just bounces back and forth within these two zones right here, right? It's basically ranging within these two zones going sideways. However, we do have a bullish candle right here. And then on top of that, we have a rejection off here. So we have a rejection off this point followed by a bullish candle right here. And what we would be waiting for is we would be waiting for price to break the structure and close right here. So if that happens and price closes above that structure, kind of similar to what happened over here, it's going to come up and test this structure before either coming back down or shooting back up. So at that point right here, if price closes above this structure right there, price will probably continue up further to here. And at this point, it'll either break the structure and continue up higher, or it'll reverse from this point and come back down like it happened over here, right? So there's two scenarios that can play out here for GU. I'm not sure if you're still in that sell, Sanjeev, but I mean, price is probably going to range for a bit. So until price breaks, you know, above here, or sorry, above here or below here, then there's going to be some uncertainty in the market, obviously, right? Because price is just ranging within these two zones. So you'd probably have to wait for one of those two. I wouldn't necessarily like get rid of your position just yet if you're still in it, because it can easily reject off this point right here because it hasn't broke structure, right? It hasn't broke structure and it's technically in a short-term downtrend right here. So if you look at price right here, it's currently in a short-term downtrend, but you can see here every time it's in a short-term downtrend, it usually ends up swinging right back up, right? So even though it goes down that far, it might reject off this point, swing back up, or it might even come down further to here, reject off this point, and come all the way up from there as well. So just keep that in mind. GU right now is very indecisive until it breaks either below here and breaks the structure, which it hasn't passed all week, or if it crosses up here, which it hasn't broke all week either, that will possibly set the direction for GU. I'm not sure if there's any news coming up next week for GU, for anything big like holidays or anything like that. So I think for now, it's probably just going to be consolidating sideways for a bit. But then just keep in mind for when it either breaks below here or when it breaks above here. So these are the two different scenarios it can play out. Sanjeev, I'm not sure what will play out from here, but you know, just for your own reference, I would just hang on to it if you're still in it, because this could easily swing down, or if it swings up, then you could also get out of the trade. Let me see how far is it from here. So price is currently here. Yeah, you're only about 50 pips away from this low and then 100 pips away from this high. So we'll see how this plays out. But, you know, like I mentioned, it is NFP. It is Friday. We're going to the weekend. Anything could happen over the weekend, you know, Brexit, or like the US can like go to shit because of all what's been going on in the world. You know, I'm sure you guys have seen what happened at the Capitol of the US. So if something like that happens and the US dollar weakens because whatever, there's craziness going on in the world, this will probably spike up. Vice versa, if something happens in the UK with the new COVID strain, this can easily spike down. So just keep that in mind. And I would just hang on to it for now. So that's it for GU right there. Yeah, no problem, Sanjeev. It's all good. Let me see if there's anything else here. So next up, we have EJ for Forex Trader. We have gold for Cameron. And then we have US 30 for John. We have another question here for Zephyr. Zephyr's asking, morning, Shawn, can you take a look at USD CHF? There's a retracement sell signal, very thin structured across. Definitely. So I'll take a look at USD CHF as well. And I think that's about it. Cameron said, come on, guys. Come on, y'all like the stream. Yeah, definitely. Thanks for liking the stream, guys, for you guys who have. Definitely appreciate it. If you guys haven't already, if you guys can, definitely help. Otherwise, I'll keep going through with these analyses. So let's see, Ron, Mexico, aka David, said just caught a little EU sell. Nice, you caught that little spike down right there, right, David? Looking at EU as well. Looks like it's moving the same as GU. Yeah, it's just having a small retracement right here. It was like I mentioned, I think it's going to come down, maybe retest, and then shoot back up from here. But I mean, we'll see how that plays out. If you're still in that trade, David, you could probably catch it down for another 30 pips or so. But yeah, I think that's it for these right here. Let me go through the list again real quick. Next pair is EJ. So I'll pull up EJ right here. It's our EJ that we're currently holding. You know, it's still above the structure. We'd have to wait for this candle to close. This candle closes in about 3 hours. We have a long time for this candle. So we're probably not going to see too much movement. We might see some movement towards the end of the market when, you know, people start to close out their positions for the weekend. Looking at US 30 right here, it's still pushing up from this point. So, you know, like I mentioned earlier, I'll keep going back and forth between US 30 because this is probably the only pair that we're really looking at to necessarily take today since it's a short-term position. Let me check this real quick. All right, so I think we're good on that. But yeah, let me keep going down with the questions over here. So I'm done looking at those other pairs. For next up, I'm gonna look at EJ over here. So just looking at EJ, Forex Trader, I'm waiting for it to break to just close above the structure. So if it closes above the structure, like it is right now, it's currently above it, but it hasn't closed. This is basically like a break and retest pattern, right, guys? So basically price broke the structure right over here. So price broke the structure right here. It's coming back down to retest the structure because it was outside the structure, it came back in. And then if it closes above here, like you can see how price is above the structure right now. If it closes above, that's going to be a classic break and retest setup right there, kind of similar to what happened right here, right? So price broke the structure right here, just showing you guys an example. Price broke structure right here. It came down, retested the structure. And then as soon as it broke the structure again up here, it ended up skyrocketing way up top for like 220 pips, right? 215 pips. So that's basically what I see happening here as well. You know, it's a classic break and retest, price broke structure, retest, broke right back out, and then it's probably going to skyrocket back up, especially because the JPYs are weak. You know, obviously the correlating pairs, AJ, CJ, EJ, GJ, they're all bullish. So that's basically what I see happening here for EJ as well. So I wouldn't be too worried about it. If I have to hold it into the weekend, I probably will. But I might just exit at TP1 or something if, you know, if that happens before market close, because I generally don't like holding trades into the weekend. So that's pretty much it for EJ right there. Let me see if there's anything else here to look at before we continue further. So that's it for EJ right there. The next one is gold for Cameron. Next is US 30 for John. And the last one is USD CHF for Zephyr. So if you guys have any other questions, feel free to put them in the chat. I can look at any pair you guys want me to. It doesn't matter what pair it is. You know, I can analyze anything. Unless you guys have questions about trade psychology, FTMO, anything like that, feel free to ask. Because I think if we don't get too many questions today, this might just be a short session because it is Friday, it's NFP. We're not really looking to enter any new Forex trades this morning because the market's going to close in about 5 hours. But we are going to be looking for a US 30 entry right here. You can see I already marked it up. I've identified the structure right here. Price came down, tested the structure. Now we're having some bullish candles right here, right? Generally, if it's followed by a few bullish candles, like right here, it tested structure. It had a few bullish candles and then it skyrocketed up, right? It's kind of what we see happening right here. We see a few bullish candles right here. You know, this would be considered like tweezers because you have the bearish candle tested followed by a bullish candle right here and then a strong bullish candle right here. If there's another bullish candle after, it might be a strong bullish move, or if it closes above this structure, then we could possibly take it. But I'm going to go ahead and take a look at the other pairs first before we take a look at US 30, and then we will we'll analyze the pairs that we have next. So first, I'm gonna look at gold for Cameron. David says so many jokes I can analyze anything. Yeah, you know, as long as you have a chart, David, right? You know what I'm talking about, your boy from last week, calling these sells and calling these buys, but no charts, no analysis. All right, so let me go take a look at gold right now, and then we'll continue going forward. So we're gonna pull up gold right here. So looking at gold over here, I'm gonna go ahead and And I'll show you guys this one. So the new strategy that I was discussing with you guys, I don't know if you guys sat in on the session with me in the London group and the backtesting guys. We had a session going on yesterday, and I was going over the US, I mean not the US 30, the new strategy that I was discussing, for the past couple of weeks. Basically, I was identifying that like when price breaks, when we have a signal that's followed by a previous signal, like right here, right? We have a sell signal, and price crosses above with a buy signal right here. So price crossed above it, we get a buy signal right there. If we take this long position right here, and then we let it run, it goes straight to full TP, right? I was going over this yesterday. If you guys sat in on my mentoring session yesterday with one of our students, Donnie, we took a look at this and I was explaining how I apply the strategy. It's a full TP, no drawdown at all. Very, very easy. Again, right here, same situation, price on the previous signal was down here. The buy signal crossed above it. And at this point, you could have taken another long position right there. And then that would have hit TP as well, right? Because this price point acts like as a structure. So price comes down, tests this structure, and then it shoots right back up for a full win. So we had one win right there. We had one win right here. Super simple, guys. It's like there's literally no thinking required here. Again, here another situation where price closes above this previous signal over here. Well, it doesn't close above it, but it crosses. So like I mentioned, this acts like a structure right here. So price crossed it with the buy signal. We would have taken another long position right here. And then obviously it hits full TP. So that's 3 back-to-back full TPs right there. Right here, we would have probably skipped this one. We would have skipped this one because it didn't cross above it. Even though this was a nice bullish move, it didn't cross above this previous signal right here. So we would have skipped this one. And it's basically all about accuracy, guys. So like right here, price closed below this one right here, right? So let me go back to this one over here. We have this signal here. The previous signal is right here. This was the low. This one obviously closed way below it. So it broke this structure, crossed below it. We would have taken a short position right there and then rolled it down to full TP. So you guys can see how simple this is. This is the new strategy that I've been working on. It's very, very simple. It eliminates fake outs, just like Flynn mentioned over here. And, easy money, guys. So easy. So let me just analyze gold from scratch over here. And you guys have seen, a little preview of the strategy that I'm applying. I've been making a ton of money doing that. That's pretty much how all of our US 30 trades have been, like hitting full TP as well, because I'm very spot on with the trades. So let me go ahead and take a look at everything else over here. And I'll analyze gold for you guys. So let me give you guys a naked chart. There's nothing on the chart. Turn on the K2SRs. And then I'm going to go ahead and draw my zones on the chart for you guys. So the zones right there. These are some messy zones. I'm just going to draw a big zone here because price is just breaking right through it. All right, so looking at gold right here, I've drawn my zones. You guys can see that price generally respects these zones, throughout gold. Like you can see, whenever it comes down, it tests the structure, and then it respects it as it crosses above. As it goes below it, it respects it as well. So just looking at gold right here, you can see that we have this huge drop. It looks like it established a high at this point. Let's see if I could find a higher structure here just to identify where that drop started coming from. Yeah, so we have a couple of different structures right here where it actually hit. So it started from here, came up to test this structure over here. So it's been dropping for like some time now. So looking at that right there, I'm going to go back to the 4-hour, turn that off, zoom out from this point. So it looks like it established like some sort of double top right here. It came down, retraced back up, and swung down from here. This is exactly what I was mentioning yesterday, right? So I told you guys that gold was going to fall, right? Because I said that the IG sentiment was way too high. If you guys go back and look at my analysis this entire week, I already predicted this was going to happen. So if I pull up IG sentiment for gold, let's see where everyone else is now. People are still long. So people are like are freaking ridiculous, guys. I told you guys that it was going to come down, right? Because there's so many people long. This was even higher yesterday. I think it was like 87%. So obviously when everyone's long on gold, what's going to happen? The market makers and institutions are going to spike price down to kick everyone out of the trade. And I don't understand how this many people are still holding on to gold. You know, how many accounts are blown right here from everyone holding gold? Geez, it dropped like nearly, I don't even know how many pips this is. What is this, 100 pips or 1,000 pips for gold? But I've been warning you guys that like not to trade gold this week because, or not to buy gold because there's too many people long. Obviously, if you look at the sentiment here, if there's so many people long for one specific asset, the market makers aren't going to keep pushing price up and institutions aren't going to keep pushing price up to give you guys free money, right? They're going to do the complete opposite of what everyone's doing. So with gold here, everyone is long. So obviously you're going to do the opposite of what everyone's doing because majority of people fail at trading because they just don't understand how the market moves. So right here, you can see price came up. I think this was like from the beginning of the week, right? January 4th. So the beginning of the week right here, I mentioned that price was breaking the structure and then that it was going to, so you can see price right there. I turn on the momentum indicator. I indicated that this move started from like way down here, right? It rejected off this structure down here. There we go. Oops. That one. Save this one. So price started from down here, right? It rejected off this part right here, or even right here. It rejected off this structure right here, followed by a buy signal. And then I said it was going to keep pushing up, right? I said if it broke structure here, it'll keep pushing up. Just like every other strategy that I've gone over, when price breaks structure, it just pushes up to the next structure, right? Pushes up to this structure, pushes up to this structure right here, and then pushes up to this structure again as well. And then what happens here is price can either break above it or reject off this point and come down, right? So what I was saying earlier this week is that there were so many people long. I think it was like 87% of people were long gold. So I said that they're probably going to keep pushing price up slightly to this point and then dump it to kick everyone out for a stop loss hunt, right? And that's exactly what happened here. Price came up, it tested the structure. Let's see. Yeah, it tested the structure right there. And then this is where the dump started happening. At this point, we had that sell signal. So as price continues down further and breaks structure, further and further down, then it would continue to drop further and further as it continues. So right there, it just keeps dropping further and further again. And then it'll just keep continuing down as it breaks structure. So right there, it keeps dropping further and further. And there we go with the drop. And it did exactly what I mentioned right here. See, price broke structure. And then what happened from this? It tested the next structure down here. So at this point, price is going to try to break this structure again right here. If it doesn't break the structure, it can also swing back up. But if it breaks the structure like it did right here, odds are it's going to continue down further and continue dropping. So keep that in mind. And it played out exactly like what I mentioned this whole week, guys. Like this whole week, I was telling you guys that this was probably going to happen, and it actually finally happened. So this is exactly what played out here. Hopefully, you guys weren't in this trade for a buy, because this is always going to be like this always happens, guys. It's an easily manipulated asset. The reason for this is because everyone thinks the US dollar is going to shit, right? Especially because with everything going on with like the capital getting raided, with stimulus getting printed, when they print money, the US dollar weakens. So where they're printing I think a couple $1 trillion, right? So they're printing trillions of dollars. When that happens, the US dollar gets weak. So as that happens, everyone anticipates and guesses that the US dollar is just going to keep getting weak, and people put their money into gold, so it continues pushing up. It can only push up so far until the institutions trap you guys and they spike price all the way down for about 1,000 pips and stop you out. So just keep that in mind, guys. With when you're trading something that's easily manipulated like gold right here, make sure to look at sentiment. This shouldn't be your initial thing to look at. Make sure you apply your strategy first. And then say if you're going for a buy position and then you see that so many people are long, I probably wouldn't take that trade, because you're trading where everyone else is trading. And the market makers and institutions see that. They know that everyone is looking for a long position. Like they're trying to long this. And then when you least expect it, you know, everyone's like, oh, it's such a strong bullish move, right? Everyone buy gold, you'll get rich, buy gold. As soon as everyone starts buying gold and the sentiment goes higher and higher, this was probably higher, it was 87%, but I can anticipate that all these people got stopped out from this drop right here, that it went from 87% of people long, and then everyone got kicked out of the trade. And now it's only 84%. I think as it continues to, so I would keep an eye on this. If this continues to go higher, it's 84 right now. If it goes to 85, 86, 87, they're probably gonna keep dumping it, guys, because they just want to slow. See, look at this drop right here. It's still dropping below the structure, because they want to trap people. You know, the way that the institutions and market makers make money is that they trade against retail traders. So you don't want to trade like a retail trader. You want to make sure that you do the opposite. Well, you don't necessarily want to always do the opposite of them, but if the stars align and indicate that you shouldn't be following the sheep right here, you know, this 84% of people, then you probably shouldn't, because it's probably going to dump even further. And then over the weekend, it might gap even further down here just to stop everyone out. And then when you least expect it, so once this number goes back to normal and it's like goes down to like 60%, then they're going to push price to where it's supposed to go. It's going to spike all the way up. So keep that in mind, guys. You know, you guys got to analyze the charts like you're playing chess. You always have to be 2 steps ahead of the game. Don't be 1 step behind of the game like everyone else over here. And don't follow like the hype, guys, because everyone's hyping up gold. And look at what happened here. If you're following that hype, you would have lost your whole account basically. So just keep that in mind, guys. And you know, there's a lot of different factors that go into analyzing a trade. It's not just technical analysis. Everyone thinks it's just technical analysis, but in reality, there's other things that you can factor in to avoid getting caught in something like this. Because obviously, if you're just using a technical analysis, right? Everyone who's a technical trader probably would have thought that this would have kept pushing up even like a little further. They probably would have thought a small drop would have happened, but I don't think they would have anticipated this huge dump right here to happen, because this is a huge dump, right? And it's just repeating itself. If you look at past history over here, you can see price reach the structure up here. We had a sell signal right here, right? Sell signal, rejection off the structure up here. Oops. Yeah, rejection off this structure right here. Sell signal right here. And this huge dump. So it's just repeating itself. It dumps, consolidates a little bit. That's probably what's going to happen here. It dumps, consolidates a little bit, and then dumps further like it did right here. So just keep that in mind, and be careful with gold. I don't trade gold. I don't recommend anyone trade gold. You know, if you do, you guys understand the risk. It's very manipulated. So that's it for gold right there. Let me go ahead and take a look at the other questions if there's anything else to look at. And then we can continue on further. So Arash is asking, could you please tell me how many lots you use for FTMO account and the first time after you pass the challenge, as I know you only trade US during FTMO, right? So yeah, Arash, I only use 15 lots. That's what I use for all of my Forex trades. I mean, for all of my US 30 trades, since that's all I trade on my FTMO, I only trade 15 lots. The reason for that is because trading a 15 lot 1.5 times 1500, I'm risking 2,250 per trade. I mean, if you could be more specific with your question, Arash, I'm not sure what your account size, because I'm trading 100K account. So obviously I would trade this much because the max loss is 5,000. So 5,000 minus 2,250 it gives me a cushion of 2,750. So I have a huge cushion right there in order to, you know, survive if like anything happens with my trade. So you just want to make sure you're within the max daily loss. And it depends on what you're trading as well. If you're only trading US 30, then obviously you can use this risk. But if you're trading, you know, Forex trades, you're trading UK 100, you're trading a bunch of other stuff, you're going to have to lower that risk, because you can't risk this much on one single trade. You're going to have to spread that risk among all of your other trades as well. So that's it for that. Arash, if you can be more detailed with your account size, I can give you a better answer. But for me, I'm using a 15 lot for US 30. Sanj, let me see if there's anything else here. Flynn is asking, does the new US 30 daily strategy work on AUS, on the Aussie or S&P? Well, the strategy wasn't meant for those pairs, so I can't really say, Flynn. You have to go and back test it yourself to to see if that works. You know, obviously like the UK 100 strategy, I didn't create that strategy. That was something created by Mark and the London guys. So they basically just ported over my strategy to the UK 100, and then they started applying it. So that's something that you can do too, but it's not something that I'm going to go and test because it's not something that I trade. Like I don't trade AUS 200 and I don't trade S&P because I already trade US 30. So there's no reason for me to trade a cheaper asset like the S&P when they move the same way. So if you want to try it out, you can test it and see, but I just don't have time to go test something that I'm not going to apply myself, right? And it's really simple. You can go ahead and back test it, just run back all the entries and see how they play out. And then you can figure out, how it works from there. But I'm sure it works perfectly fine because we did back test it a little bit and it did work perfectly. Maybe if we have some time later, I can take a look, but I don't think we're gonna have much time today because I'm gonna try to get off by 9 p.m. So I'm gonna try to get off in about an hour and a half, guys. I have to do some stuff today and I have a lot of admin work to do for K2. I have a bunch of emails, a bunch of Telegram messages to get to. But other than that, I'm definitely gonna try to answer your question as much as I can here. So Flynn mentioned the new strategy eliminates fake outs. I agree. It helps a lot. And I'm going to show you guys the US 30 strategy for a lot of the new people here as well as we continue to move forward. David said BTC is on crack again. So let me go check at BTC again. Oh, so look at gold right here, guys. It's closing exactly where I identified, right? I marked it up right here. It looks like it's going to close below, but we have 2 hours left on this candle. So if it closes below there, expect a farther drop. So looking at BTC, wow, Bitcoin is crazy high, guys, super high. Let me see where my Bitcoin is now, because you guys saw that my Bitcoin was at like $400, and it's grown substantially. Oh shit, I'm almost at 2,000, guys. So you guys can see my phone right here. I started with like $400 in my Bitcoin wallet, and I just left it there for a couple months, and then now I'm here at like nearly $2,000. It's freaking crazy. Let's see. Oh, nice. Ed, I don't know, Ed, if you're in the chat right now. Ed just passed his FTMO. He said, let's fucking go. He locked in 10,000 this month. So he passed his FTMO. Congrats. Another K2 member right here with another FTMO passing. Nothing new, guys. People pass FTMO with K2 every single day. It's great, dude. It's great. Let me check the chat real quick, see if there's anything that I missed before I continue moving forward over here. All right, so if you guys send me a message on Telegram or you guys send me a message through email and I haven't gotten to you, don't worry, guys. I just haven't gotten to my emails yet, so I haven't responded to anything. But yeah, congrats, Ed, on passing your FTMO. Let's get you funded. I know we talked about your tax stuff. So once you get funded, start making that money. I can start helping you with that as well. So good job. Bitcoin is shooting up like crazy. I'm holding on to my Bitcoin, and we're going to continue it, moving forward. Flynn said, can strategy work on gold, lower timeframes? You'll have to back test it, Flynn, because the strategy I haven't necessarily worked on yet. So, I'm only focusing on US 30 right now. The only reason I was looking at gold is because we were on gold at the time, but I don't really have time for me to go and run it through right now. So you can just open, gold. The thing is, I don't want to mess up my chart because I already marked everything up. So I don't want to go on the shorter time frame and then and test it. So if you want to go and test it, you guys can. It's pretty simple. Just go back on the shorter time frame and then run it depending on whatever time frame you want to. But you can see here, I would have to delete stuff off my chart if I was to back test it for you. And I just don't want to do that because it took me a long time to draw that stuff on the chart because I want to see how it plays out here on the 4 hour. So I'm not going to go back test it, but if you want to back test it yourself, Lynn, you're more than welcome. And if you want to share your results from that back test, that'd be great. And then we can, match up numbers and we can identify where it didn't go well and see what can be done differently to fix that so that we can increase the win rate. Because obviously we always want above a 70 to 80% win rate for all of our strategies. We don't want to use anything less than that. So I'll help you with that if you do the back test yourself. But I'm personally not going to do the back test because I don't trade gold, so it makes no sense for me to back test it. But yeah, so let me go ahead and take a look at anything else here before we continue. Morning, Deswell. How's it going, bro? David said, don't ever trade gold. You'll get crushed. I agree. Flynn said, rest in peace to IML retail traders blowing their accounts on gold. Oh, man, horrible. Yeah, no, man, it sucks. Whoever like hopped into those trades, it'll definitely definitely mess with their account. Neil's asking, what are those lines for? Which lines are you talking about, Neil? If you could be a little more detailed, I could respond to your question, because there's a lot of lines on the chart, so I'm not sure which one you're referring to. If you're referring to the momentum indicator, these vertical lines that signify momentum swings in the market, if you're referring to these K2SR lines, which are basically points of rejection that are plotted using the K2 indicator, or if you're referring to these, directional lines, I'm not sure what you're referring to. So if you could be a little more detailed, then I can answer your question. But I'm not sure which lines are you referring to more specifically. So let me continue down further. So you guys are having a different. Neil said, "What is IML?" Cameron said, "A waste of money is exactly what it is." Um, I'll let you guys talk about that. I don't know anything specific about it because I've never used them before. Never have, never will. David said, "Gotcha. His indicator works on anything. Just develop a plan and back test it." Exactly. Literally anything, FX, stocks, etc. Amar wants me to take a look at UK 100, so I'm gonna add that to the list. Amar UK 100. Let's see if there's anything else here to look at. ComCon wants me to take a look at DXY. I'll take a look at the DXY dollar index. Kendra wants me to take a look at, let's see. I'm going to see if the strategy works on JUR 30. Yeah, it should work on JUR 30. So you can go ahead and apply it, Kendra, because I know a lot of people from the UK group have been using it. It's just, it's a lot more expensive to trade the DAX. So that's the reason why they stopped using it like that. Neil's asking, how do I get the strategy? So if you guys want access to the strategy, so we do have it available for you guys. If you guys go on the website, k2trades.com right here, just go to our website, k2trades.com. If you want access to the strategy course, just click this right here, K2 strategy course. And then you can sign up right here for access to all of the video courses, the indicators, the premium groups, and also you'll have a one-on-one mentorship with me. So if you guys look at the YouTube channel, I have one-on-one mentorships with people every day within K2, where basically I teach you guys how to trade exactly how I do, right? If you guys want to learn how to identify these things on the chart and make a ton of money trading exactly how I do every day, then it's available to you. You guys can sign up there, and then you guys can figure out how I'm able to, be so pinpoint with all my trades and why our win rate's so high. Because the strategies that I teach you guys are the same strategies that I apply every day. They're the same strategies that I use for all of our results. So pretty much if you look at all of our results from this week and you see all of our full TPs here, they're only from using two strategies. I only apply two strategies, guys, and it's super simple because I keep it as simple as possible. Like our US 30 strategy over there, full TP. Our NZD JPY position here, I use the K2SR strategy, full TP. Our other US 30 from the day before, another full TP. Like literally this whole week's been straight full TPs. So if you guys want to learn how to apply all these strategies, OddCAD full TP, GN over here, full TP, you got grandma over here hitting the dabs. And then if you guys want access to the course, it's all, it's all available to you guys. Everything I do, everything I teach, everything I go over is available to you guys. And it's easily accessible, right? So if you guys have access to the course, let me just show you guys the course real quick. If you guys have access to the course, I only use two strategies. I use two strategies all year round. That's how we make all of our profits. It's how all the premium signals get called. It's very, very simple. For Forex, this is the only strategy I use, the K2SR zone trading strategy. So for all those TPs that you guys saw here hitting, they're all from using this one strategy. And I use this all year round. It's not seasonal, works in all sessions, works in everything. Works perfectly. And then for all the US 30 entries, I use the US 30 daily strategy right here. And that's simple too. You just wait for the first signal, you take it, and then we hit full TPs with pretty much all of our US 30s here. Full TP, full TP. We got another one here, full TP. So we got three back-to-back full TPs for 1,500 pips. You multiply that by 1,500 times 3. We're up like 4,500 pips for US 30. So if you're using a mini lot, you'd make 4,500 bucks for all those trades. If you're using a standard lot, you would have made 45,000. So you guys can see the huge difference there with our profits. So that's about it for that one right there. Let me go ahead and take a look at the questions here. So I have one question from John. He wants US 30. Zephyr wants USD CHF. Omar wants UK 100, and ComCon wants the dollar index. So let me see if there's anything else here that I need to look at before I continue on with the analysis. So we have one more question here from, let's see, we got a question here from Raj. I asked for a 100K account and I'm ready to reach max daily loss. So if you say I have a 100K account, trade one trade a day, US 30, I can trade 15 lot. Yeah, Raj. So that's basically what I do every time. I take a 15 lot for, wow, look at US 30, guys. That's crazy. It dumped like heavy. So this is why I told you guys I was going to trade US 30, because look how crazy it's moving. It didn't even swing up to here. So there goes that buy entry that we were looking for. And I don't see it coming up anytime soon. I mean, it might come up from here, like reject off this point. But like I mentioned, using the new entry point, it would have to close up here. And I don't see that happening because price is way down here for like 2,000 pips. So we're probably not going to trade US 30 today, guys, but I'll still analyze it for you guys right now. Let's see, for John wanted me to analyze US 30. But you guys can see these crazy drops right now in the market. Everything is like dumping like crazy. It was like I mentioned, a lot of these pairs are reacting to the NFP late. Like NFP happened 2 hours ago, but like I mentioned, price doesn't necessarily react right away. It reacts like slightly later. So that's why all these things are moving like crazy right now, because it should have moved at like 5:30 way over here when the news happened, but it didn't happen until like right here, like an hour later, and then again another hour later from there. So keep in mind, guys, this is probably not the best time to trade. If you guys can avoid trading today, I would avoid trading, because you don't want to get caught in these crazy movements in the market that are like super unpredictable. So let me look here and see if there's anything else that I can answer before I continue further. Yeah, I just saw your message, Billy. You said US 30 is melting. It's melting like crazy right here, bro. So if it breaks this structure, next structure would be down here. And then we'll see how this plays out. Unless if it shoots up from this point, who knows? We'll just have to wait and see how this plays out. Nobert is asking, I'm new to Forex. Can you show the strategy you use in YL analysis, your trades? Nobert, I'm kind of confused with your question. Do you want me to analyze something for you? If you have a pair that you want me to analyze, I can analyze it for you. But I'm kind of confused with your question. If you can give me a pair that you want me to analyze, I can take a look, but I'm kind of confused with your question there. All right, so next question is from Neil. Said, okay, I meant the lines if it's for the strategy. Thanks, David, for responding to that. David mentioned what you see on the screen are his proprietary indicators. You can only get access to them by becoming a member. Definitely, and that's exactly true. So next one that we're going to look at over here is Deswell said, okay, how many one-on-one mentorships can I have, Shawn? So Deswell, you can have as many as you want. You just need to schedule them with me. Just let me know what day and time that you want. Generally, my schedule is open from 2 p.m. to 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. But just let me know, what day works for you, and then we can set up a time. I think next week is getting booked up pretty quickly. Let me look at my calendar. It's getting booked up pretty quickly, but I can probably squeeze you in if you can give me a date that works for you. I have a couple of sessions next week if you guys want to sit in on them. Other than that, you have basically unlimited sessions with me, Deswell, because I think we discussed this. If you signed up last year, you have unlimited sessions with me. If you're new, then you have sessions with me, but they're going to be somewhat limited because the older members are going to have priority for signing up ahead of time. So yeah, Deswell, just reach out to me and we'll set up a time and day for us to meet for your one-on-one session. Velocity said, US 30 doesn't seem like it's gonna come today, selling off for some reason. I agree. It's pretty crazy how US 30 is dropping right now, but I don't know. I might swing back up at this point. Sanjeev said GJ and GU is dropping heavily. Yeah, exactly. Everything is responding to the news on there pretty heavy with the NFP. Let me see the NFP actually. So NFP, the unemployment change went from, oh wow, okay, yeah. So non-farm employment change, we went from 336,000 way down to negative 140,000. So the unemployment rate stayed the same, but people's non-farm employment change was like heavily down. So there's a lot of conflicting data here. It looks like average earnings went up. Yeah, I don't know. This is weird, guys, because we went from unemployment stayed the same, but everyone's wages either went up or went down. So average hourly earnings went up, but the non-farm employment change went super down. So people lost jobs, but the unemployment rate is the same, but hourly went up. So I don't know, guys. It's super confusing with the news. Usually it's like all the same, it's either all positive or all negative, but they're kind of all over the place. So that's probably why the market's like on crack right now, because this stuff is generally moving a little crazy on this point. So I don't know. We'll see how this plays out from here. Everything looks like it's just pretty much bouncing around at this point. So let me go ahead and take a look if there's anything else that I need to look at before we continue further. Billy said, I'm grateful I've been in a sell. So yeah, Billy's been hanging on to that sell for a long time, right? Because we were talking about, I think people were talking about entering a sell somewhere around here. And dang, you held that for a long time. Let's see, you held that for about 2,000 pips and it finally came down. So you're probably in profit now, Billy. But I think it's going to recover back up right here. I don't know if I would hold that sell any longer. If you're in profit, I'd probably cash out. Nobert said, sorry, Shawn, I think you answered me by leading me to your website. Thanks again. No problem, Nobert. Yeah, if you have any other questions, Nobert, just feel free to put them in the chat and I can analyze anything for you. If there's anything specific you want me to look at, or if you have any questions regarding any trading theories or anything like that, just feel free to put it in the chat and I can answer anything from there. Let's see. So Cameron said, yo, should I DM you on Telegram? Yeah, exactly, Cameron. So DM me on Telegram and then we can set up your mentoring session as well. So let me see if anything else here. Flynn said US 30 will gap down over the weekend, possibly, or it might gap up actually. I don't know. We'll see. We'll have to see because it is pretty high. So it might gap down slightly. It might go down to maybe this point right here, this structure right here. Or I don't think it's going to go all the way down here, right? Something crazy has to happen in the market for price to come way down here, like back to 30,000. Or I don't know. It had like a little waterfall here from January 1st. So we'll see how that plays out. But just looking at US 30 right here, I don't know what's going to happen. Honestly, there's a couple of structures right there left over, but I don't know how far it's going to continue. So that's it for that right there. Let me see if there's anything else here. Razul said, Shawn, can you please review EJ and generally your thoughts? Sorry if I missed it, just joined earlier. Yeah, so I'll take a look at EJ as well, guys. EJ probably spiked down because of the news that I mentioned. So this is going to be for Razul and Layla. So we got Jpy. Yeah, I did analyze it earlier, guys, but it's fine. I'll analyze it again because the news is being affected right now, obviously, right? So the news is pushing price down. Like I mentioned, the unemployment NFP, it happened about 2 hours ago, but price is barely reacting to it right now, like 2 hours later. So let me see if there's anything else here real quick before I continue. David said, KT, you think your boy's still holding his cells? I don't know, bro. We'll have to see because the thing with this is that his cells were way down here, right? It was way down here. So if he was holding those cells, he'd be in the negative. That's your best friend, David. Why are you talking about your boy like that? If he was holding his cells from here, he would be negative nearly 11,000 pips before he got to that point. So he called a sell and went literally straight up. So we'll see how that plays out. I could see US 30 correcting back up right now, but we'll see how it plays out. Going over here real quick. Oh, Victor, quick answer to your question. Just draw a rectangle and then double click on it. And then go to style right here and click extend right, extend left. So you can see right here, it's just a small rectangle. If you click extend, extend right, extend left, extend right, it'll extend across the screen for you. So that answers your question there. Another question over here from City said, it's funny how people say the market is on crack as if crack is an upper. I'm from Philly. Crack does the complete opposite of how the market is moving. Oh man, you're funny, dude. Too funny, City. Yeah, no, I agree. The crack is one hell of a drug, right? I wouldn't know, but now that you mention it, let's see what else we go from here. Billy said, "No, I did. No, I sold off 50 cents, then it dropped more. Sold off another. So I'm only down 126 right now. I'm currently holding one lot with negative 82, just managing my way out. Definitely, Billy. That's a good move right there. But I could probably see this spiking up right here because it didn't break the structure. It actually closed above it, so it might swing back up. But who knows? We'll see how this plays out. It can play out better, or it can swing back down. Who knows? But we'll probably just let that run through there. Billy said he's on his way purchasing a new FTMO account now. Yeah, David said he kept stacking his cells though. Yeah, I know, right? Because what happened was we were entering. So if you guys were here like a couple of weeks ago, we had a guy in the group who said he was like a pro trader or whatever, and he kept telling people to enter cells, right? We were like right here, and he was like, sell from this point because he saw it coming up right here, and he was like, oh, sell. So he sold from here, and then every week he was just like, sell, 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 sell. So he sold, it went up. He's like, sell again, it went up again. And we kept asking for his charts, but he didn't want to send his charts over. So we were like, bro, what are you talking about? You're just saying to sell, but it keeps going up higher and higher. And then I guess he kept stacking his sells, and then he kind of disappeared from the chat. So I'm sure he probably blew his account trying to take these sells on US 30 as it continued to go up further and further up. So, like for me, I respect your guys' analysis. If we're taking a buy and you guys call a sell, I'm completely fine with that. But if you guys are going to call an opposite trade, at least provide some analysis or some sort of reasoning behind your trade. Don't just call a sell because, obviously price was super bullish ever since January 4th. And I haven't seen David's homie in this chat since then because he probably blew his account trying to sell as it was, shooting up from here. Or actually, he was probably Aaron's friend. I don't know where Aaron's at right now. If Aaron's sitting in on here, but yeah, every time we took a buy, because like if you guys are familiar with the K2 strategy, we take buys when, like for example over here, like down here, we took this buy right here, and then he said to take a sell. Obviously, it was no drawdown, and there hasn't been drawdown since. So we made money off this trade. And then again over here, it was like another entry for another buy right there. And we made another full TP. And we just kept making money as we kept buying this up and up and up, right? So, just going back to what I mentioned earlier, I don't mind if you guys want to do opposite of what I'm doing. Like if I call a buy and we hit full TP, that's completely fine because that's what we wanted anyways. But if you guys are going to make like an opposite call, just give some sort of analysis, provide some sort of chart so that we can like analyze from your perspective too, because we might be wrong. Like we're not always right, but we still provide analysis regardless. So just keep that in mind. But yeah, David, you see what happened here. He kept calling sells and it just kept going higher and higher. Probably blew his account because I don't see him in this chat anymore, or probably was embarrassed because he kept calling sells and David over here was like hounding him with the charts, but he never sent the chart. So we'll see how that plays out. He'll probably be back in a couple months or so. He probably has to save some money to reopen his account again, but we'll continue on with that. So let me see if there's any other questions here before we continue going on. Yeah, True Flame said US 30 is crazy right now. Whoever just scalped that's living right now. No, exactly. I bet, right? Whoever scalped this drop right here made some profit. So let me go ahead and take a look at the analysis again. For John, he wanted US 30. So I'm going to analyze it on a different, or actually I could analyze it on here. Or I don't want to mess this up. So I keep going back and forth. I'll just analyze it on a clean chart over here. Go to US 30. And then we will go from here. So here we are on US 30. I'm going to take everything off the chart. I'm going to go on the 1 hour to draw my zones. Zoom out from this point, turn on the K2SRs. And draw my zones from this point. So looking at price right here, we got a zone right there. Zone right there. Zone right there. There. And then we got 2 zones right here. So after we got that marked up, we want to get an upper zone. So I'll go on the 30-minute. And then we got an upper zone right here. And then we'll just mark this up as well right here. So just looking at US 30 over here, looking at previous data, I'll pretty much close this off right here. Looks like price is coming around. Let me go on the 1 hour, see if I see anything better. All right, so looking at the US 30 right here on the 1 hour chart, this is just for a bigger perspective of analyzing the chart, so that, because on the 10-minute, obviously this is how we trade, but there's a lot of noise on here, so there's no point in us really looking at it here. So I'm going to give you guys a bigger picture, because obviously it's better to have a bigger picture for this, so you can see where it's going to go long term, right? So it's been bullish ever since ever, really. So it's been bullish since October of last year, and then it came up right here, consolidated for quite a bit, then it pushed up again right here from December, and it just kept establishing higher highs, right? So like right here, we had a low, we had a high, higher low, higher high, and then now it looks like it's coming down to establish a higher low. So at this point, US 30 is like super overextended. We can even take a look at the IG sentiment to see what's going on over here for US 30. So let's see where everyone's trading for US 30. I think everyone's shorting right now, right? Yep, we have 71% of people short for US 30 right now. So everyone who shorted that made some money, and then now I think it's going to swing back up. So what might happen here is we have 11 minutes on this candle. This might continue to push down further to here maybe, or maybe even down to here. But then at that point, it's probably going to swing back up. They're just going to lure in some more people. So right here, they have 71% of people short. Once this increases and gets higher to like 80%, like what happened with gold, obviously there was like a ton of people buying gold, and then it spiked down, right? Same situation right here. I think this is going to come down slightly. And I think once the sentiment gets really high to like 80% or maybe 78%, then it'll probably spike right back up, or it might even spike right back up right now. So like scenario number 1 is it could break down the structure and continue further down before rejecting from this point, or even down here, rejecting from this point. This could happen for this specific pair, right? That's scenario number 1. Scenario number 2 is price may reject off this structure, close above here, and then break back up and keep setting higher highs, right? It's just going to keep creating a new all-time high. So that's scenario number 2. Scenario number 3 is like you can just go sideways for a bit, because we are entering the weekend. It can close above here, go sideways, and then from that point next week, it'll either come down to like lure in some more sellers, or see, look, the sellers are dropping, guys. It went from like 72. I think it went from like 76 to like 72 to like now 71. All these people are getting kicked out, or they're getting scared and they're closing out of their short positions, because there we go, the buy signal right there. So I think what happened here for US 30 is people started to chase the money, right? People saw the drop happen right here. And what happened is like people don't know what they're doing, and they don't understand how like the market moves. So they probably entered a sell right here, because they're like, oh yeah, cool, I'm gonna enter a sell because it's coming down, right? Everyone's thinking it's coming down, and they have their stop loss right here above the structure. So what happened was they pushed price up, stopped them out right there, and then it's probably going to push down again right here to have people re-enter some sells, right? They're probably going to drop back down to like lure people in for some sells, and then spike it right back up to stop everyone out. They're trying to shake these people out right here. There's too many people shorting the market, and they're not going to let the market just keep dropping and allow these people to make money. Because obviously, like I mentioned earlier, majority of people fail at trading. So if you're trading like everyone else, you're probably going to get stopped out just like everyone right here chasing this drop. And that's why we're not chasing this drop, because we know how the market moves. This can easily spike up even higher. So depending on where the stop losses are, I think this would be a sweet spot right here, because people would identify the structure right here as this low. So I think people probably have their stop losses. Let me see if they entered a short position here. They might have their stop loss. Like this is the hot area for stop losses, right? Somewhere around here. they're probably going to spike price up even higher that way, stop them out. And then this number is probably going to lower below 70%. Once that happens, then they'll probably keep pushing it sideways. And then all of a sudden, it's going to come dumping right back down. So you guys have to look at this you guys have to look at it from a perspective of, what are other people thinking? If a lot of people are selling right here, then the market makers and institutions are going to do the opposite. They're going to push it up because they want to stop these people out. Because obviously when they stop these people out, they're going to take over their positions, right? They're going to take their positions. And then at that point, they're going to enter their sells and they're going to spike price down in the proper direction. But they've already made their money off the other sellers that they've stopped out. So just keep that in mind when looking at US 30. I personally wouldn't trade it today. We'll see how it plays out, but I personally wouldn't trade it today because it's just too risky for me specifically to want to enter that trade just because of the way it's moving. So, that's it for US 30 right there, guys. We'll keep analyzing it. I'll also go over the strategy for you guys because I know there's a lot of new people here that want to see how the US 30 strategy is applied. And I'll show you all of the wins we had this week. I think we had straight wins this week. So I'll go over that shortly. But right now I'm going to keep going down the questions. So we have one more question from Zephyr who wants me to take a look at USDCHF. So let me pull up USDCHF real quick. And here we are. So here we are in USDCHF. I'm going to go ahead and delete everything off the chart. And then I'm going to draw my zones really quickly so you guys can see how I analyze the chart from scratch. So we have a zone up here. I'm just going to connect these two because price is so far from it. We're not going to trade up there. There we go with that right there. We can probably connect these two zones right here because they're so far from current price. That one right there, and then that one right there. All right, so we're good. I'm gonna turn off the K2SRs. And looking at price right here, you guys can see that price respects these zones pretty nicely, right? Pretty much just establishes lower lows and lower highs as it continues to move down. So the high started from up here in September and established a high, a low, a lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high. So like right here, we have the low. And then right here, we have the high. So at this point right here, I anticipate it to continue dropping further from this point to break down here and create another low, right? So just looking at this right here, I'm gonna turn on the momentum indicator. And then we're gonna identify where the direction of momentum is. So I turn on the momentum indicator right here. We have a sell signal. So for this thing right here, like I mentioned, if you look back at, every other time that this has happened, if we put this right here, you can see it started right here, right? We had a rejection off this zone right here, followed by a sell signal right here. And then what happens? It pushes down to the next structure down here, right? Or it pushes down all the way. Yeah, so push it down here, another pattern right here. It pulls up, rejection off this zone right here, sell signal, pushes down to this zone right here, right? Same situation. We have a rejection off this point, buy signal, pushes up in the opposite direction. And then again, right here, it resets, right? At this point, we have the rejection from this zone right here, followed by a sell signal, price broke structure right here. And then what happens from this point? It pushes down and tests the structure down here. So same situation again right here. We have the same setup right here, rejection off this zone right here, sell signal. Next up, we just need price to close below the structure right here. When price closes below the structure right here, we can take a short position and then ride this down. The reason for this right here is that this coincides with fundamentals because the US dollar is weak right now and the Swiss franc is a safe haven currency. So when the US dollar is weak, these move opposite. So as price comes down, that indicates that the Swiss franc is stronger than the US dollar. Like I mentioned before, we just printed stimulus, a couple $trillion bucks. So as we print money, the US dollar gets weaker and weaker. So as that continues, this is likely to continue farther down, right? So that's why for here, I have a bearish bias. The reason for that is because I have the sell signal here and the patterns just keep repeating itself. We have a rejection off the zone, sell signal, break structure, it'll continue down further. Same situation right here. We had a rejection off structure. we had a sell signal. It broke structure right here, and then it continued down super far from this point all the way down here for 120 pips. Same situation right here, rejection, sell signal. If it closes below this structure, we can probably see it drop further to break this structure even lower and establish a new low, right? So if that happens right there, then that'd be a nice drop for about X amount of pips, 100 pips right there. So let's keep that in mind. That's my analysis for USD CHF right there, and we'll see how this plays out. We're probably not going to get this movement by today. We probably would have to wait until next week for it to actually move, quite a bit for it to be significant for us to take that sell. So that's it for USD CHF right there. Amar wants me to take a look at UK 100. Let me see this real quick. So looking at UK 100 right here, I'll go ahead and analyze this on this point. Let me go on the 1 hour. Let me draw my zones on this point right here. So looking at UK 100, I'm not sure what trade you guys took this morning because I don't call that trade. That's something that the lending group calls. So I'll have to go and take a look at that shortly. Right here. Let's draw these upper zones right here so that we can identify these other rejection points. I'm going to hide this off the chart. Go back to the 1 hour right here. So the UK 100 is pretty much just ranging between these two zones right here. I can even take off this right here, and you can see that it's just ranging within this area right here, right? So it's ranging within this area. I think it's at all-time high. This is the very all-time high right here. There's probably a lot of people shorting it, so that's probably why there's a lot of manipulation in the market right now. So you guys can see here that the same thing that I mentioned works every single time. So we have a rejection off this point. We have a sell signal. What does it do? It comes down and tests the structure, right? Comes down and it tests the structure. We have a rejection point right here. We have a buy signal right here. What happens from here? It tests this structure right here. We have another rejection right here. We have a sell signal right here. So this is probably going to continue pushing down a little further to test this structure. Once it tests the structure, it can do one of two things. It can either break below here and continue dropping, or it can reject off this point and swing back up and go back into that range before either breaking above it and establishing new highs, or reject off this point and come back down and continue ranging within this area. So for UK 100 right here, I personally don't really have a preference as to how it's moving because it is ranging right now. So this thing over here, Razul said, Shawn, although London guys call UK 100 trades, what's your overall feedback on it? Post your discussions yesterday. I mean, honestly, I don't trade UK 100 Razul, so I don't really have a preference on it because I don't know how it moves. I've never traded it before, so I'm not familiar with it. If I knew how it moved, then I could have a better input on it. But I trade US 30 because I only trade during US session. So I don't really have a specific idea on it. But yeah, looking at the discussion yesterday. So if you're looking at the strategy that I was talking about, I mean, currently, obviously, it's in a range right now, right? So if you're using the strategy that I was explaining yesterday, or the one I explained earlier this session as well, in order for me to take one of these trades, they would have to cross above or below one of the previous signals. So like right here, in order for this sell signal to be valid for me, it would have to close below here, right? In order for me to take that, it would have to be below here. Vice versa. In order for me to take this sell right here, it'd have to be below this buy right here. So none of these would have been trades that I personally would have taken. The one that I would have taken would have been this one right here. So you can see that this buy signal closed above this sell, right? So if it closed above it and crossed, then I would have taken this long position right here and then rolled this up, which would have been a great trade, full TP, right? So for this over here, oh no, sorry, this is on the 1 hour. Let me go on the 10-minute. So that's my mistake right there, guys. So like for this right here, I probably would have taken this for a small scalp because, you know, like I mentioned, price would have to close below here, and it did. So I would have taken a short position right here. Stop loss would have been right here for about, I don't know, 160 pips, I guess, 170 pips. So yeah, looking at this right here, it would have hit my full TP if I was applying the strategy that, you know, I discussed yesterday. Again, same situation right here. I would take this buy position. I would place my stop loss right here for about 150 pips, I guess. And it looks like it would have hit full TP. So both of these would have hit full TP, this one right here and this one down here. I wouldn't have taken this buy right here because it didn't close above this sell. And I wouldn't take the sell right here because it didn't close below this buy. So just looking at the strategy that I discussed yesterday, I mean, it would have worked pretty solid. You know, again, right here, we had a sell signal. This buy closed above it. I would have taken a long position right there to full TP. So, I mean, if you guys sat in on my session yesterday, I went over the strategy that I was discussing, and it does work good on UK 100. It's just not something that's like openly applied currently. So like right here, another sell, close below this buy. I would have taken this sell position right here, all the way down to full TP. So just keep that in mind, guys. The strategy is, it's a very strong strategy, but I just haven't really taught it yet because I haven't done my own testing on it just yet. But looking at UK 100, you know, overall, like I mentioned, it looks like it's within a range right now. So I don't really see it moving anywhere. I don't know if you guys are in for a sell or a buy. I think most of you guys got out of that trade already, right? Because I did see it say break even. So let's see, UK 100 right here. You guys are in a sell. And it said break even hit. So you guys got to remember to, you know, if you're going to take those trades from Mark, or even if you're just taking them normally, use the exit strategy, because right now the market isn't necessarily all that great. So like right here, yeah, I would have skipped this. So that was a good call on Mark and the guys for skipping this because they didn't cross above here. However, this would have been a decent sell right here. So it looks like, let me see if I could find this right here. So entry point for this was like, wait, this doesn't look right. Entry is 6805. Huh. That doesn't make sense to me. 6805. I don't know if we're looking at something different. So I don't know if 6805 is like way down here. Yeah, guys, I would have to go back and look because I'm looking at the parameters here. I didn't call this. Spencer called this. Spencer, are you in the group? Because I see that your entry for UK 100 was at 6805. I don't know if it filled because 6805 is way down here, and price never reached that area. So if any of the London guys are in the group right now, if you guys have some input, because I'm looking at your entry here, it doesn't look like it matches up at all. See. Oh no, this is FTMO. Okay, sorry, FTMO. Let me check this over here. Yeah, thanks, Elkin. That was my bad. Okay, so now it looks good right here. Okay, so that's it right there. Oh, the numbers are super off. I was like, the heck? All right, so we got that right there. It looks like you guys are still in this trade. Wait. Why does that happen for me? Okay, I don't know. Profit target's right there, 7.2, and then stop loss is 6.882. All right, so we're good right there. It looks like you guys are still in the trade. I mean, it's obviously in some drawdown right now, but like I mentioned right here, this was a good call for a sell. You know, I still don't know how this, well, because Mark uses a tight stop loss. You guys know exactly how it moves. Like I mentioned, I don't trade UK 100. If I was to trade it, obviously my stop loss would be wide as well, but this seems to be working for you guys. So just looking at this here, this is something that I would have taken because this sell signal closed below this buy, right? So like I mentioned, if you had a smaller TP, like I was mentioning, if you put at the previous swing, it would have hit full TP already. But if you guys are still in this trade, I think it still looks like a decent sell. It's just, pulling back slightly a bit. The key thing is we don't want a buy signal. If we have a buy signal, then it's going to negate this entry. But we will have to just, see how it plays out. It is NFP, guys. So, this is something that I wouldn't even have traded last night because you guys took the trade right here at like 4, and then NFP happened right here at 5:30. So that's probably why this spike in price happened and it spiked right back up. So there was a lot of manipulation in the market, but from our back test, even if you trade during news, usually it still works for the most part. So that's probably why you guys still called it, which is fine. I do agree with your decision to call that because it could have gone either way, really. So it's still fine right now, but I mean, we'll have to wait and see how this ends up playing out from this point. So, well, Deswell said, man, I'm scared of UK 100. I agree. That's why I personally don't really trade it just yet. I need to be more confident about it before I decide to start trading it. So let's see if there's anything else over here before we continue on further. Let me see if there's any other questions. So we looked at UK 100. I'm looking at DXY for ComCon. Let me see if there's anything else over here. I think majority of people are out of this trade already, right? Because it's really important that you guys use the exit strategy for this. We always remind you guys in here, like, remember to use a K2 exit strategy to eliminate risk. Like we always mention that, but today's like a very important day for you guys to use it because it's NFP. It's a heavy news week. You don't want to get caught any fake outs. So if I got out at break even right here, I'd be fine. I wouldn't be re-entering this trade, but hopefully it does drop down for you guys that are still in the trade currently. So I think that's it for UK 100. Let me see if there's any other questions before I continue further, and then we will start moving on from here. So let's see. Sorry, I missed a lot of stuff up here. Okay, so David said the problem with pattern is you don't see them until they are formed. Yeah, I agree 100% on that. Let me see if there's anything else here that I missed before we continue to going from that point. Sam says smash that like button, people. Yeah, definitely. If you guys haven't already, if you guys can, just do us a favor and smash the like button and subscribe to the channel if you guys haven't already. That way, we can continue to grow the channel and I can continue to keep coming on here for free with you guys every day. So let me see if there's anything else. True Flame said US30 really dipped, then came back up. Oof. He also, if you zoom in on the 1 hour, there's a rising wedge. Oh, I see. Yeah. No, I saw that too when I was looking at US30. But, like I mentioned earlier, it's going to, let me see here. Yeah, Layla, I'm going to take a look at a EJ as well. So I have you on the list right now with you and Razul. We're going to take a look at EJ after I look at the chat real quick. So I'm just going to scroll down here and I'm going to just ignore all the other ones that people have mentioned that don't really apply to me. So David said, Shawn doesn't trade patterns. Continue to learn how to trade and read time and price. Exactly. Yeah, definitely. I'm not much of a pattern trader at all, so I don't really look at those at all from this point. Nipeace, Nipeace is asking, super late. If you haven't already, please take a look at gold. I think I see something on the H1. So I'll go ahead and take a look at gold again later if I have time. Just a reminder, guys, I have to get off in about an hour. So I'm going to try to zoom through these questions real quick. And I'm going to avoid the chat because the chat kind of gets me tied up a little bit. And then I'll try to get through everything that you guys are looking for over here. Nelson's asking, what platform are you looking at those charts on? We're using TradingView over here. Okay, thanks for clearing that up, David. TradingView, let's see. Victor said US30 showing a buyer. Are we leaving that and looking for a sell if it closes below? I don't think I'm going to trade this at all, Victor, not today, because it's already 8. Once it hits 9 on a Friday, it's kind of iffy because market's closing today and I can't hold trades over the weekend on my FTMO. So I'm probably not going to take the trade today if it doesn't appear like within the next 30 minutes or so. Let me see what else we have here. Neil mentioned, Shawn, I did have your strategy, so I'm going to have to set up a one-on-one with you to continue watching the videos and read the excerpt. Yeah, definitely, Neil. Just message me after you sign up, or if you're already signed up, and then we can set up that one-on-one with you. So let me keep going down here real quick. All right, so everything else looks fine from the questions. I'm going to go through these pairs real quick and analyze this so that we can move forward before I have to get off for today. So the next pair is going to be DXY for ComCon. So let me pull up DXY real quick. All right, so we've got this. Sorry guys, I'm looking at my messages right now. We have a ton of I got a ton of messages coming on my Telegram right here that I have to get to as well. So looking at the DXY right here, I'm going to go on the 4 hour. I'm going to go ahead and delete everything off the chart. So we have some naked charts right here. There we go with that right there, guys. You guys can see right here, the DXY, the dollar index is just super weak, right? So obviously that's why we're trading against the US dollar. Because like I mentioned, with stimulus coming out back in November, the talks, it just went to hell from there. Literally just kept dropping. So looking at the dollar index right now, I'm going to turn on the K2SRs. And I'm going to draw these zones for you guys. So we got that right there. All right, there we go. So we got all of these lined up right here. Let me see if there's any lower zones that we can probably look out for if prices to, you know, close below that point. So it looks like price is actually at a, or it's getting close to a support. So going back on the 4 hour right here, I'm going to go ahead and hide K2SR indicator and just look at the DXY right here. Obviously, it's been in a downtrend since, who knows, since March. So since COVID happened, the dollar went to shit, basically, literally. And then I'm going to turn on the momentum indicator right here. And then you can see that these patterns just keep repeating itself, right? So like, for example, here, we have a bullish bias because the previous signal was a buy signal, right? So this, I mean, even though this is a bullish signal, I wouldn't take any buys. I would only take sells as they appear. The reason for that is because the US dollar is weak, right? Just tying in fundamentals, even though we're applying technicals right here, and this could probably even push up to this point. Like you can probably push up from here up to this point. It might, but overall, I don't think that's going to happen because the dollar is just super weak. What I see happening is price is probably going to pull below here and then provide another sell signal, kind of similar to what we've been looking at. So like, for example, over here, we had a rejection off this point. We had a sell signal right there. And on top of that, it broke structure, right? So we had a rejection from this point. We had a sell signal right here and it broke the structure. So at that point, it pushed from here all the way down to here. Same situation right here. We have, you know, price breaking structure again right here. And then basically price just pretty much pushing down before it retraced up after the NFP news this morning. So you can see this morning or this week earlier, we had a lot of US news this week. We had the unemployment data that was released on Wednesday on the 6th. And that's what, so what happened here was, like, it's weird because they, employment went down. So they're not hiring right now, but it's still pushed up. See right here on the 6th, it pushed up because like market manipulation is pushing up. But then I see it coming back down. So right here for the DXY, I would anticipate it for it to close below the structure. And then once it closes below the structure, then I anticipate it to drop even further. Even though the technicals are showing that it can possibly push up from this point, I wouldn't go with that because the fundamentals are clear and the dollar is weak. So I don't see this coming up anytime soon. You know, it might come up during the weekend, just might spike up for whatever reason. That happens over the weekend sometimes, but overall, I think this is going to continue down further. So just looking at the DXY right here, I wouldn't take this buy even though it broke structure, because you can see right here, price broke structure, it came up slightly and then it came crashing right back down, right? That's basically what's happening here again. The price came up slightly, but then soon enough, it's probably going to just come crashing right back down from this point. So I would have a bearish bias on this because the US dollar is super weak, you know, until we figure out this coronavirus thing and until everything starts reopening and they have to cut off stimulus, then we could probably see it recover slightly. But right now, I don't see it recovering anytime soon. So keep that in mind, guys. If you're looking at the DXY, I personally wouldn't take any sells off this right here. I mean, any buys off this. I would take a sell. So let me see if there's anything else before we continue forward. I'm limited on time today, guys, so I'm going to continue with the questions real quick so I can answer everyone's questions before we log off for the day. So I'm going to go back and reanalyze EJ right now for Layla and Razul. So looking at EJ right here, this is what I analyzed earlier, right? I mentioned that price needs to close above this structure. So if price closes above this structure right here, then we can anticipate it to swing right back up. You know, until then, it's probably just going to go sideways for a bit until it closes above here. Once it closes above there, we can anticipate it to shoot up further. So it's in some slight drawdown. It's not that bad. It's literally like right before entry. So entry is right here. It's only drawdown like less than 20 pips, right? Like around 20 pips, maybe less than that, because it's trying to fight above this structure right here. We have about 142 minutes, or sorry, we have an hour and 42 minutes left on this candle. And that's a long time for it to close above here. It can randomly at the last 30 minutes just spike up, close above here, confirm that break and retest. Because like what I was explaining earlier, guys, if you guys weren't familiar with this, it's just a classic break and retest. So looking at this here, you can see that price broke structure, and we have a bullish signal here. So what happened? So it started right here. This is a storyline. Rejection off this point, bullish signal, price broke structure. Where's the thing at? Price broke structure, price tested, retested right here. So price broke, retest, and then once it closes back above it, like it's closing right there, right? If it closes above it, it's going to shoot right back up. So, I mean, a lot of you guys are worried about EJ, but even from the beginning, if you guys rewind this to the beginning, I mentioned that you guys need to just calm down and let it play out like it's supposed to. Because like same situation right here, we had price reject off this structure. It's the same exact situation, like price reject off the structure. We have a buy signal right there, right? Rejection, buy signal. Price broke structure. And what did it do? The same thing. It pulled back, retested the structure. It closed above it. It's the same exact pattern that I'm just showing you right now. So break, retest. And then what happens? It shoots up like 200 pips, right? So that's why I'm saying you guys just got to be patient and don't freak out over trades. I mean, obviously your trade psychology is just not there yet, but it's the same exact pattern right here happening right here. And if you guys can't see that, just draw the zones, and then you guys can see that the same thing happened right here, which is happening right here. Price just needs to close above the structure. When it closes above the structure, then we can anticipate it to shoot up. It's like right at the structure. So there's a lot to look at right now, just waiting for this to play out. So that's it for EJ right there. I'm just going to take a look at gold again real quick for Nelson, and then I'll see if there's any other questions before we close out for the day, because I don't think we're trading US 30 today. Definitely not. So let me continue at this, and then let me see what is going on over here before we continue further. Let's see. Chinarium, sorry, bro, if I mispronounced your name. Said, I want to buy your signals monthly. Where do I start? Where can I purchase them? So let me see if I could. I don't know how you guys respond to people here, but let me see if I could put that there. Oh, there we go. That's how you guys do it. So if you go on our website, I put it right there on the chat too. Chinamarium. Basically, just go on our website right here, k2trades.com, and then just click on K2 signals right here, and then you can sign up for the signals right there. If you want access to the indicators, so you can trade exactly how I do, just click on strategy course right here, and then you'll have access to that as well. So just depending on what you're looking for, we have the signals and we have the strategy. It's included in both. So if you sign up for the signals, you have just the signals, but if you sign up for the strategy, you have the signals and the strategy included on that. So just keep that in mind. And that's where you would sign up on the website. So let me see if there's anything else here before I continue further. Sisu said still in EJ, definitely moving back up, holding. Yeah, me too. I'm holding it as well. Roman's asking, when you check weekly chart on EJ, we bought on a weekly resist. I don't know what you mean by that, Roman. We actually broke structure right here, and I don't trade on the weekly. I trade on the 4-hour. So even if we were on the weekly over here, I'm trying to figure out what you mean by that. Because the thing is, I mean, yeah, it is at a resistance, but it closed above on the 4-hour. So if it closed on the shorter time frames, it still closed above that structure right there. It's just this weekly candle hasn't closed above it yet, but it's going to close above it at the end of the week. You know, this week is going to end in about 4 hours. So looking on the shorter time frames, we actually bought when it broke the structure, not when it was within it. So I'm not sure how you were trading it or how you're looking at it, but I don't trade on the weekly chart, Roman. So I'm not sure where you saw that at, because technically it broke above it and it closed. It's just, you know, you're trading on the higher time frame, but I don't trade the weekly because I'm not planning on holding the trade for like a week or so. So I personally was on the 4-hour right here, and you can see that it's a little more accurate if you're trading intraday on the 4-hour candle. So we'll see how it closes out, because if this closes out by the end of the week, even if you're looking on the weekly, this would still be above it, because price did break that structure that you're talking about. So if I hide everything off here, you can see that the wick did break it. It just hasn't closed above it yet. So that's it for EJ right there. I think we have one more question for Nelson to take a look at gold real quick. So let me pull up gold. Gold is down here. So I did analyze gold earlier, guys. So I was looking at gold earlier, and I mentioned to you guys that, so I already have my markups here. I didn't take the markups off yet. Same markups from this morning. I mentioned that, you know, this move started last week when I was telling you guys it was going to come up. So we had a rejection, buy signal, broke structure right here, shot up to this structure over here. It didn't cross the structure, obviously. So right here, it rejected off this structure. We had a sell signal. It broke structure right here, and it came down further. So what we're looking at now for gold is if price closes below the structure, then it could continue down. If price fails to close below the structure, it can easily correct back upwards to this upwards trend. Obviously, we have a bullish bias here because the US dollar is weak. You know, as we looked at the DXY earlier, it's super weak. It's just going straight down. So looking at gold here, gold is a safe haven currency, and it moves opposite of the US dollar. So if this continues to push up from here and doesn't close below the structure, then we can anticipate a correction from this point for gold. So just keep that in mind. You know, like I mentioned, I personally don't trade gold. I don't really recommend anyone else trades gold either, unless you guys know what you're doing, because you can easily get caught in this fake out right here. Like a lot of people got faked out right here because they analyzed it from one perspective. They only saw it as a bullish move because clear fundamentals indicate that the US dollar is weak, right? So everyone enters a buy position here. You look at the IG sentiment over here, and like a ton of people are buying, right? So 86% of people are long right here, right? The number just keeps going up because people keep betting that gold is going to swing back up. So since there's so many people trying to buy gold, what do you think is going to happen? I think it's going to go opposite. I think it's going to go down further because they want to kick all these people out of the trade. So basically, I think what's happening here is, so if people enter this right here, they enter a long position at this low, right? Because they identify the structure. Everyone's trading that same thing. So what they're probably going to do is they're going to put their stop loss somewhere below here. Yeah, somewhere like that. This is what a normal person's position would look like, right? So I think what's going to happen here is price is going to spike right below, stop all these people out, and then maybe consolidate a bit before it either corrects back up or it drops even further to kick more people out of this trade, because there's just too many people long gold right now. And for that specific reason, they're going to want to kick all these people out of the trade so that institutions and market makers can make money. Because when the traders lose money, or, you know, when retail traders lose money, they're just going to kick them out of the trade, and then they're going to go and take their positions. So they're going to kick people right here, and then they're going to take positions and spike it all the way up. You know, it always happens. That's how they make money off this. So just keep that in mind, guys. I mean, that's pretty much what I see here for gold. Other than that, that's pretty much what I see moving forward from this point. So that's it for gold, Nielsen. Hopefully that helps. Let me see if there's any other questions. I think that's it for our questions today, guys. So if you guys have any other questions, go ahead and put in the chat right now. Otherwise, I'm going to be getting off a little early today. It's 8:30, but I do have a ton of emails. I think I have like 70 emails to get through. And then I also have, I have a ton of emails right here to get through. And then on top of that, I have a bunch of Telegram messages to get through right here as well. So with that said, I'm probably going to get off soon. Let me see if there's any other questions. Yeah, so I think that's it, guys. So I'll probably give you guys updates as we go. I need to do some admin work. I got to put our results together for the week. Once I have that all together, I'll send you guys the results, and then we can move forward from there, guys. But yeah, guys, I think that's about it. If you guys haven't already, please like the stream and subscribe if you guys haven't already. That way I can continue to come on here for free and pretty much teach you guys anything you guys need to learn about trading every single morning. If you guys are new here, I do this every single day, Monday through Friday most of the time, around 6 a.m. up until 10 a.m. Today's just a little early because it is Friday and it is NFP, so I'm not even going to be trading myself. So there's just no point in me being online right now unless there's questions, but there isn't any questions. So I think at this point, this is about it. I'll put the results together and I'll send them in a Telegram. So if you guys are in the Telegram group, the results will be sent here, and then you guys will see exactly, what I mean about this from this point. With regard to our results, if you use proper risk management, if you guys take every trade, you guys should be heavily in profit this week, guys. Like there should be no reason for you to be in the negative because all of our trades have been hitting. We've only hit one stop loss this week, and everything else has been hitting. Aside from UK 100, if you guys took those trades, if you guys took that with the US 30, you would have been in profit because we had nonstop wins for US 30 this week. So I think that's about it, guys. If you guys have questions, just message me on Telegram. I'll try to get back to you as soon as possible. I have a ton of messages to get through. Other than that, have a great weekend, guys. And I'll catch you guys here back on Sunday for the weekly chart analysis. And then again for our daily trading sessions on Monday. But yeah, guys, thanks for showing up. I'll catch you guys later, and I'll see you guys on the next stream.